Welcome, everybody. We're back on the podcast. We debated whether we did it this week or not, but we thought we needed to get with y'all. Obviously, we are in a difficult time still in our community. We're fighting through this. We're doing well. We are seeing a lot of good progress around the community, so a lot of good positives to talk about, but we're still in the thick of this thing, this recovery. A lot's going on here today. It's not quite the same as last week when we were with meals and showers and complete wide-open distribution, but we have a bunch of volunteers downstairs. We are taking supplies in still. We're taking all kinds of things.
Everything but clothes.
And baby supplies, I understand. We're not accepting clothes and baby supplies.
We're kind of stocked up on that
we
stuff
got
right
so
now.
much of that that we're in good shape. But other than that, we're taking everything. And so we've got trucks rolling through, still delivering supplies. We also are distributing them here at the church. What are the hours of that now, Greg? About 10 to 4?
10 to 4 is what we're doing.
10 to 4, Monday through Thursday this week. And so we're going to be doing that. So if you're out there and you have supplies, we will receive those. If you know of somebody that's been affected by the hurricane that needs supplies and are in a situation where this can help, please, you can send them by, and the volunteers will be here 10 to 4 Monday through Thursday of this week. And we got chainsaw crews going out. We got everybody's information in yesterday. I think names of people signing up to serve and people in need. And so those crews will begin going out very soon. I'm assuming today, but if
we got
not,
some that are going out today. We got some that are kind of getting organized. A lot of it's going out and looking at the job sites and kind of seeing exactly what it needs to be done. And so, and those teams will really, a lot of those teams will get to work tomorrow. So it's the chainsaw team, it's the roofing repair team. There's a grading team that's out there, a team that is doing debris removal as well. So lots of ways and lots of opportunities for people to get involved if they want to, and to try to meet some needs in the community as well.
We are learning so much being on the inside of a natural disaster that's really going to inform us next time there is one somewhere that we help. What have you learned so far that we can tell here on the podcast that we've learned so far about disaster relief that would help people help us right now? There'll be some listening from outside. What's the best way to help a church and a community in a time like this?
First of all, I want to say thank you to so many people and so many churches that have reached out and just offered anything and everything at this point in time, offered to help in so many different ways. And it's been, and honestly, it's been a little bit overwhelming and just kind of being taken back by how many people from locally, across the state, across the nation that have been offering, ways that they can support and help. And it's been so overwhelming that sometimes, people are offering, hey, we'd like to bring you supplies, or we'd like to come and help. Sometimes it's just, man, I don't even know where to start right now.
I think the thing I've struggled with in this is you get kind of overwhelmed with the how can I help thing. And one of the things people don't realize is that, which is really good and appreciated, but my phone and your phone rang continually, almost continually for days, and still is ringing fairly consistently with how can I help?
Right.
And you're here, and we're here, and we're not disaster relief experts. We're local pastors.
Right.
And it's like things are coming from everywhere. And I would like to say, if I've been short with anyone or not helpful to anyone, it is not out of a sense of a lack of gratitude. It's just a sense of overwhelm. Like, what do I do with this? I know the needs here. We've kind of said we're not turning down anything, any help, except things we're overloaded on, clothes and baby supplies. But if someone wants to come with a food truck, come on. If someone wants to come with chainsaws, come on. If you got supplies, come on.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to send you yet, but we'll figure it out. It's kind of
like we'll figure it out when you get here. We're still, and the county's recovering, gas is available now. Water's available most places. Power's still, a lot of people have power. I don't, and I'm a little jealous of you two right now that have power, but we don't have power yet and may not
get it. Live in the woods.
When you live out in the woods, that's what you get. So, we may be a good while more without it ourselves. So there's still pockets around the county where people can't cook at home.
Right.
Grocery stores are opening up, though. Things are starting to open up for people who can get out.
Yeah, there's a couple of spots within the county that we're hearing that they were just the hardest hit areas, and they are really struggling in those areas. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out how we can get the resources that have come to us to get to them. And I would say this, kind of going back to answer your question, was one thing that we've learned. I think that what I would tell people is that listen, sometimes just the best thing that you can do is, one, let them know that you're here, and if they first of all ask for a particular kind of supplies, like right now we could really use a lot of non-perishables, right? That's one thing, non-perishable foods.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's what we can really use right now. But outside of that, don't ever feel like that a financial donation isn't good enough. Sometimes it's kind of like, I want to be able to send you something. Well, I'm here to tell you that financial donation that you're going to make is going to make just as much of a difference as any kind of physical item that you may send.
Oh, yeah.
As well as it kind of gives us the opportunity to determine, hey, what is the biggest need that we have right now?
I have learned, and I've had people tell me this week from the outside that have gone through it, that there are phases to the recovery.
Right.
I know there is a sanctioned framework, or I think there's one that starts with R's or something like that. I just know there's that initial phase when everybody's kind of panicked,
right,
and you need some immediate relief for just survival.
Yep.
This one hit us so hard and so fast that people didn't stock up their pantries.
No, not at all.
I didn't at all.
No.
And all of a sudden you're without food and you can't get out, and no power. That's a scary place. I think much of our community was there for at least 2 days.
Well, I know a storm had never affected us like this. Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
We were all trapped at home for 2 days.
Yep.
With no way. There was a bit of panic there. So you're in that first mode of, okay, let's provide showers and immediate assistance to get through the first week of this until power starts coming on somewhere.
Yeah.
And then when it starts coming on somewhere, you start leaning on your friends and your family to get a shower and to get some food, and you can get out. But then after that, there's a lot left to this recovery.
Right.
And that's where the financial donations are really going to kick in to give money for us to be able to go out and actually help people buy what they need, rebuild their homes.
Yeah.
The other thing that people might not realize is that a number of local businesses were closed for a week. They're starting to open up, but there are a lot of people that are not getting paid for last week.
Right.
So there's going to be a need for some financial assistance to families who were already struggling, who lost a week's pay. And there's application, for emergency unemployment, and that will happen. Businesses are hurting. There's a huge economic impact to this, to a community that lingers for a long time. So, but I want to echo how grateful we are for the support all across the country. People are calling and sending food. Got a truck coming in from Michigan right now. I just got a text from that. Drusa came in and provided showers. That was fantastic to see people get a hot shower, and it's just like normal.
Yeah.
And the Drusa food truck came in and fed a bunch of people. We appreciate them so much for coming in. And just all across North Carolina and the country, people have been rolling in with supplies, and it's just been a blessing. It really has. And our staff, I think they put in 2 weeks' work in 1 week there. And our volunteers, I don't even have a number yet of how many volunteers we had out. Do you have any of that yet, Greg?
I do not. I'll be honest with you.
I don't know if we were counting.
We've got a kind of a list of everybody that was out here serving.
A few hundred anyway.
And that's just the ones that were right here. We had so many people too that were out serving in their neighborhoods as well. It was that probably right there was one of the coolest things for me to be able to kind of step back and see. And we had talked about, hey, don't wait on us to organize something. You guys in your neighborhoods, go ahead and do it. And they did, man. I was talking to a guy who said that they gutted out 25 homes in their neighborhood last week that had gotten flooded. It was nobody that was really, it wasn't like a church that was organizing it. It was just neighbors helping neighbors.
Yeah. One thing that's, I think, been good for us too is just embracing that it's not just you. It's not just our church serving. It's not just here. That helped us a lot because, as when we were distributing supplies, we went through kind of peaks and valleys where we had a little and we were like, thank goodness a water truck is rolling up.
Right.
And then there were other times that it was like we had a lobby full of water cases and in-pulls, an 18-wheeler full of pallets of water. And in those moments, it's good to realize, like, okay, there's only so much that we're going to be able to get the word out and pass things out. And that's when it really helps to have a community like ours that responded well to this, and where pretty much every church in the area was handing out water to some extent. So it was easy to distribute to other distribution places when we were feeling like we had so much stuff. And that was true in our case.
The cooperation between churches, too, was so powerful. I mentioned it yesterday, but maybe not everybody got to hear it. Early in the week, we were running a bit low on water all of a sudden.
Yeah.
A couple pickups pull up full of water. Turns out they're from First Baptist Hendersonville, and they sent us some extra water they had, and we were able to meet the need here. And then about Friday of this week, we had tons of water, and we get a big trailer full of water, which is wonderful. First Baptist called and said, we're really low on water, and we're taking it all over the community.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to send trucks back over to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
The thing I love most, and I said it this weekend, is that churches have been such heroes during this time. People are saying this: if you want to donate, get it to the church, because the church is getting it to the people.
Right.
And in Henderson County, and I'm assuming I know it in Henderson County, I bet it's true all across western North Carolina, our churches came together in such a tremendous way. There was no more Baptist, Pentecostal, there was or Presbyterian, whatever.
Yeah.
There was, the church was here, and we were helping each other, and I just love that cooperation.
Yeah.
That was
I loved
great.
it
Another
so
thing
much.
too is like you just have to accept the messiness of all of this.
Right.
Like,
Oh, boy.
it's, we talk about processes and all the time, just organization, making things as easy as possible for people to volunteer, donate. But when something like this happens, especially, in an unprecedented way, we're not totally set up to like, okay, here are our 3 ways that you can do this.
We're not a distribution
Yeah, I know.
center.
It's like
No,
we do have,
but we become that.
Yeah, I know, but shifting to that, there's an inherent just chaos a little bit of like just us and the community figuring out how all of this is going to work. So that's like a difficulty for us even now as we kind of, going forward, the difficulty for us is, turning our function back to somewhat regular church. We all have full-time jobs just to do that. And then on top of it, now we've got all this distribution and just all the kind of chaos still remains. So but you have to, when you go through it like this, you got to just embrace that and know like it's not going to be organized as well as you'd like. Things aren't going to go as smoothly as you like, but that's, you just have to embrace that and know that you're doing good anyway.
We had a wonderful day yesterday with absolutely very little preparation on our parts to get it ready. We got up and had a big heart day.
Yeah.
It was just, let the Lord be here. Let's love each other, hug each other, and let's just share our hearts. And it was incredible. I mean, last week we reorganized our staff, and there was no more connections pastor, children's pastor, executive. There was simply, okay, you're over the food trucks, you're over the showers, you're over volunteers, you're over food distribution, you're over chainsaws. I mean, it was like that. Our staff is taken on, and they're still operating in different roles. Our 100th anniversary is in not this Sunday, but next Sunday. We'd planned this great big celebration. We're still going to celebrate. I think it's going to take on a bit of a different tone in the middle of this crisis. We're going to give away at our 100th anniversary, as we would always do. But we were about to announce some big new mission initiatives that we've already announced. We were just going to give some updates on building expansion and a multi-campus plan that we have, and some improvements here on our property, and just how people could give to that. And we've pivoted from that.
Absolutely.
And we're still going to do those things in the future. But I think at least until the end of this year, we're going to focus almost all our time and energies on helping our community recover, so we're going to spend this time. God spoke to my heart and said, you take care of your community, I'm going to take care of the church.
Absolutely.
And he will do that.
That was good.
Here's where we're going forward. We will resume a regular schedule of services this Thursday. We will have Thursday evening service this week. We're going to have all 3 on Sunday morning. So we're going to be busy planning those out. I'm actually going to study to preach this week, and which will be wonderful. I've been out a couple weeks, so I'm ready to flex that muscle again. And so we'll have a word for you this week, and all our worship services and youth ministry, all that'll be up and running again. Children's ministry, all of it. we got to reschedule some baptisms that we missed in the eye of the storm. We've got a bunch of, how many were there to be baptized the weekend?
I think it was around 10 or so.
About 10, and that was going to be really special, so we'll be rescheduling that. So we're going to resume operations as a church while at the same time distributing food and being a part of these recovery efforts. And we're going to focus hard on that to the end of the year and as long as we need to. But we'll be getting back to you next year, early in the year, with some of these vision updates and some initiatives on that. But we just really feel God's called us for such a time as this to minister to our community. So exciting things are ahead. God's taking care of us too. He really is. We see the supply. He's making a way. It's not easy. It is hard. With all the disruptions, it's so hard. But we're making it through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you want to give some, I was just going to give some steps of how they can help.
Please do.
So
yeah, that'd be great.
If you want to, whether you're local, if you're local and you have a needs to get met, or you want to volunteer for one of our teams, the areas you can volunteer, you can do chainsaw team, cutting up trees and things like that. You can do grading. You can do debris removal. You can do roofing. And you can also volunteer to help with childcare for emergency service workers. And you can volunteer for distribution here at the church.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So if you want to, now only 4 of those can you request a service from.
Sure.
So you can request a service from.
If you have a need.
If you have a need, you can request a service from the chainsaw team, the debris team, the roofing team, the grading team. The other 2 teams are just, you can't request child care. It's just for emergency service workers. But so those 4, if you have a need, and you feel like one of those 4 teams could help.
Yep.
If you want to sign up for that, those are both the same form. Just go to ucf.cc. You'll see a bunch of pop-ups about the hurricane relief. You can click those, or you can click on ministries and click our hurricane relief page and look under the section that says service form. Whether you want to volunteer or request service, fill out that form, and you'll get emailed another form that kind of lets us have a little bit more detailed information of what's going on. And if you want to give to disaster relief, just go to ucf.cc/give and make sure you hit disaster relief under the, I think it's like a purpose drop-down menu.
Yep.
It'll say general by default. Hit disaster relief, and all of that money goes to help us with the relief fund. And if you're not local and you want to help, that's the best way you can help. Am I incorrect in saying that?
No, that'd be great.
Yeah. I know it's like I've responded to Facebook messages that's like, it just feels like giving money is lame. And
I get it. I felt that way too. Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like you're getting your hands dirty.
Right.
But trust me in that you are, and that we're going to be able to do things with the fund that we aren't even able to do with supplies.
Correct.
Now, I'll give supplies. Absolutely.
Sure.
I'm not shading that, but we're going to be able to help businesses, help people who had serious damage to their home financially.
Yep.
We're going to be able to do a ton of stuff with the money in that.
We would say too, if people are ready to volunteer, guys with chainsaws, we got a lot of those in North Carolina, and I've got some who are coming from out of town. Talked to somebody today coming from out of town just to volunteer to do whatever. I know on the roofing, the chainsaw, the grading, debris removal, we can use help from out of the community. So
come
they
on,
can
if
sign
you're
up there,
close
come
enough,
on and sign on, and there'll be plenty of work to do.
Yep.
Well, great. Well, guys, it's going to be fun to process this together and serve our community. You hesitate to use the word fun, but we live for this. We live to serve our community, and this is a great opportunity. There's a lot of things in it that aren't fun, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Seeing people in need and seeing people hurting, but there's a joy in coming together that I think we're rediscovering all the time. So thank y'all for being a part of the podcast. We will see you again next week, and God bless y'all.
Bye-bye.